Welcome back to Vigor. It's your boy, Stealth Jet, leader of the JSS. We came a long way. We are now in 2022. It's crazy to say. It is. And so, as things age, as time goes on, there's only one thing you can really do, and that's get better. I got better in this game by repeatedly playing, repeatedly dying, and repeatedly watching other players. That's how I got good at this game. Well, decent at this game. I'm not saying I'm good, not by any means. I mean, I do hit shots every now and then, but knowing how to shoot is one thing. But knowing how to maneuver other players, that's a whole different story. Because anybody can hop into eliminations, get practice, and learn how to shoot. Anybody can hop in a shootout and really learn how to shoot because you'll be getting shot at repeatedly, multiple times. By the way, I have never touched shootout, and I probably never will. And so, that's how I learned weapons in this game. That's how I learned, what weapon sounds like what and how certain weapons act. But, since I've played this game since basically 2019, I know how some weapons are from the get-go because I grew up playing them in this game. For example, the M21, the H-Bar-T, and, even though I don't touch it anymore, the M16. Or as this game calls it, the E16A2. That's how I learned in this game. That's the journey I took. That's the path I took to getting how I am right now. And you see, there are multiple ways to play this game. There is. You can shoot and loot. No, you can loot and scoop. Or you can deal death and keep it moving. And don't even care about loot. There are some players who don't care about the shelter. There are some players who don't care about food. Power to you. If you want to play the game like that, that's completely fine. But don't worry, there's a reason why I'm saying all this. You hear those gunshots over there? I'm going to go investigate them. I am. Because there is this one player who has a bugle. And he's part of a team. And so whenever I hear a bugle go off, bloodhound instincts kick in. If I can take out that one bugle player, I can handle everything else in this encounter. And yeah, I had to go back and get those chemicals because the JSS now rates the chemicals as S tier. See, when I heard that bugle, I kicked it into high gear. Because I knew if I could take him out, I could handle the rest of the lobby. Right? So I'm going to run over here to the container. Makes sense. He'll be near the container. I mean, that's where players go to get loot. Or to get weapons when he don't have a weapon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the bugle player just become a threat? If not one of his teammates? Just like that? That easily? Interesting. And so, I see the container right there, right? And I'm like, okay, is it getting watched? Is it being surveillanced upon right now? Or is it a false sense of security that I'm sensing right now? And yes, I see the skull and crossbows icon right there on my map, in my compass. But then I hear two silenced bullets leave something's chamber. Or barrel, not chamber, but barrel. Only 2 bullets. And then the threat moves pretty much like erratically. Whatever shot at him definitely knew what they were doing because now he's moving. And now we heard one Mosin Nagant going off. And at this point, I'm like, all right. And see, that's a team with Mosins, right? That's the team with Mosins. Now that I heard that, I'm like, everybody was coming to the container, and now they're either dead or chasing after that threat. That was a whole clip from a Thompson going off. A whole clip. What kind of gunshots do you think those are? Are those the I see you, I'm gonna throw as many bullets as I can and try to hit you kind of bullets? Or you caught me off guard, so I gotta shoot now kind of bullets? Well, you can come up with your own theories in the comment section down below. That is why it's there. But the threat icon has disappeared. Do you think he left? Or do you think he died? There are a lot of bodies near here. Well, I say a lot, only like 2. And it all goes quiet. It all goes quiet. This is very unorthodox, right? We hear a whole lot of gunshots near the container, but nobody's coming to the container. And right here I realize I need to reload my MP5, just in case I come across anybody. HBAR-T is loaded, still on single fire. And I'm watching, right? I'm watching. Things in a distance, if not things nearby. You see, at the very beginning of this match, I noticed a barred house in front of me. Experience has told me, just because you spawn in front of something, you are not obligated to go for it. Spawn in front of the barred house, time safe, heaven forbid the weapons container. If you spawn in front of anything important, don't do it. Especially when there's teams nearby, or teams in the encounter. Because what's a team going to do? Look at the bottom of the screen and say, hey yo, the safe is being unlocked, let's go get them. And all of a sudden you got 3 people waiting outside to kill you. Because you, as a solo player, thought, oh, barred house, let me go get it. And thought everything was going to be okay. But it wasn't. I was going, this happened like 2 or 3 months ago. I did that exact thing on field hunting. I spawned near the church, and not the church itself, but the tiny shed to the right of it. That was a barred house, and I went to go get it. And I kid you not, I had, I believe, an SVD on me and nothing else, and I got basically the 1,000 cuts of death by a trio with M1911s. I couldn't handle them. But look at this. There's nobody here. Everybody either died or left. This encounter was played about maybe 2 days after that encounter y'all seen me upload on New Year's Day at midnight. This happened within 3 days of that encounter, that field hunting encounter. What does that tell me? People don't care about looting. People don't care about an airdrop. They can get it by donating food. People don't care about upgrading their house because it's already maxed out. But I'm going to answer this one question that was posed to me in another video. How do I feel about the state of the game going forward? Well, I'm worried. I'm very worried. Because a game is going to grow. How? By attracting new players. Okay, so the game is different shooting mechanics, you know, it looks pretty sometimes, and the shooting mechanics are different. It's not Call of Duty, it's not Fortnite, thank God. It's not anything mainstream, it's something different, right? Okay, so you're a new player, you boot up the game, you do the tutorial, and a woman comes over the radio, says get an airdrop, and you get the airdrop and you're scared out your mind. Because you think you're being hunted. True? Hold on, here comes Santa Claus. I don't know why he has to be so loud. But yeah, in the tutorial, for the first time, you are scared out your mind. And you should be. Because that's how it's going to be in the Outlands. Right? But here's the difference. You see, Back in the day, there was only one comm station. There was only the barred house. There was no such thing as a time safe. There was no such thing as a weapons container. So, if you went to the barred house, you better freaking have a gun on you. Because if not, you're going to run across 5 different people all watching one house. And right then and there, you should learn. Don't go for the barred house first. Don't. And you see, now, back then's Vigor and today's Vigor are 2 completely different things. And I'm worried about the new player experience. Take that body that you see me pass up at the container. There was another person next to him. And they're both wearing default outfits. How much you want to bet those are new players? A carbine, 60 rounds of ammunition. Bought the gun, probably didn't know how to use it. And that's not saying anything bad against them. It's the truth because, look, the shooting mechanics in this game are different. But do you think they learned anything from this encounter? They died going for the container. They didn't learn how to evade anybody. They didn't learn how to shoot back. They didn't learn how to take cover. They didn't learn where to loot on this map. Hell, I mean, they didn't have any healing stuff on them either. Who's going to tell somebody that? Who's going to tell them that? You know what I'm saying? Like, the new player experience in this game is brutal. If you don't have anybody to tell you what to do and tell you what not to do, and then you go forth into the Outlands yourself and you take what they taught you and you try to practice it, you're lost in this game. You're going to die repeatedly, and then you're going to turn into an outright cold-blooded killer because you got killed so many times back in the day. And you see, that could have been me. It could have been. But I err on the side of logic. I err on the side of, if they're here and that's over there, they may go over there, so let me meet them halfway and make sure they're in the open. You see, ruthless killers, they'll shoot you as soon as they spot you. And how are you going to learn from that? If you die immediately to a random headshot 12 seconds into the match as a new player, what do you learn? What do you learn? You don't learn anything. The tutorial only teaches you but so much. Who's gonna tell you don't go for the barred house because you're like the first person there? Because if you do, you're gonna get surrounded by teams. If you and a buddy try this game for the first time, what are y'all gonna learn from each other? Nothing. Nothing at all. If your buddy gets killed, what's gonna happen? You're gonna run away. If you have a pistol on you, you might try to shoot back, but guess what? The guy shooting at you has an SVU on full auto. The guy shooting at you has an H-Bar-T. The guy shooting at you has a G3 that'll take you out in 3 hits. And you have nothing but a pistol, if not a grease gun, if not a Thompson. And no, I'm not knocking down the weapons. What I'm knocking down is the lack of explanation as to how you died. Because you only learn from being taught what not to do. It's hard for a new player to grasp what they did wrong when they see somebody shoot at them and they weren't even looking their direction, and all of a sudden they get headshotted because that was them telling their buddy, yo, there's a person over there, take him out. And their buddy's like behind the guy that they're looking at, and they headshot you because you stood still and thought, is that a person? And then 2 seconds later, you get headshotted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm worried about this game going forward. This game is getting quicker. This game is getting more deadly. I had another encounter just like this one where nobody cared about an airdrop. Nobody cared about loot. All they cared about was getting that 1 kill or 2 kills or 3 kills, or in that threat's case, 4 kills and trying to leave. The tutorial does this. It shows you how to get an airdrop, shows you how to run, shows you how to aim, shows you how to pull a trigger. You get an airdrop and you run. You come to your house and it teaches you. The game teaches you this is your house. Well, actually, yeah, it tells you this is your house. You got to upgrade it. go out into the outlands, get stuff, and bring it back home. And yes, it mentions hard down killers in the game, but seeing is one thing, hearing it is another. I'm worried about the new player experience in this game. If you die 10 different times, if you die 10 times in a row due to a random person shooting you, you're going to get frustrated. You're never going to come back to this game ever again. And so, I'm worried. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.